very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us today on the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, of course, there's a lot to talk about, as usual, in the fast-paced, money-spinning world of sports. Today on the show, we'll give you a slice of basketball. We'll talk about the FIBA AfroCan, and of course, hopefully, we'll be able to give you a discussion around something that has been in the news for a while as regards a Tigress player. So hopefully we get that conversation and all the things happening in the Niger Super 8. And of course, my colleague Austin Okon-Akman is suited and ready as we take this trip together across the money-spinning world of sports.
For the greetings to you, Yemi, to be on the show. Shout out to everyone joining us on the program tonight. Yeah, of course, we'll be taking a look at what's going on in our action-packed, interesting world of sports right here in England. Good talking points. Wimbledon Tennis Championship. Yemi, so much love for Ons Jabbar. I saw an headline. I loved it so much. It said, unstoppable, you know? And I think she's really unstoppable because she has shown that she can be consistent. She made it to the US Open final last year, right here, Wimbledon. She made it to the final. She was unfortunate to lose it twice, and now she's in the final again. But she's got to be careful. But yeah, I mean, whatever it is, last night on this show, I said it, that the women's singles category is filled. So on Saturday, we're going to have a new Wimbledon champion and a new Grand Slam winner.
All right, for sentimental reasons, I was a bit unhappy with what happened to Elina Svitolina. She was carrying Ukraine on her shoulder, but of course, she couldn't get through. It would have been a fairy tale run for the woman, but it didn't happen. And we'll see what happens. Like you said, there's going to be a new name on that title for the ladies.
But Ukraine, it's not all doom and gloom. Ukraine just won the mixed doubles events, you know, and that's something they can be proud of right here at Wimbledon. So Vitolina, it was painful, but Ukraine still had reasons to, you know, celebrate. And you mentioned basketball. 2 days ago, Oderah Chidom announced a retirement from the women's national basketball team. For people like me who weren't surprised. I mean, so much has happened with basketball in Nigeria, and just say, look, we can't keep going on this way. You know, it's heartbreaking for Oderah, but she thought that was the right thing to do. So we'll get to speak to her on the show tonight and then find out why she made that decision and see ways that we can actually talk to the leadership to ensure that things are done properly so we don't start losing our future stars.
Yeah, very interesting. As a matter of fact, I'm told that Oderah Chidom is ready for us. So we can just, let me allow you to do the honors, actually. We can just go straight to her and have that conversation.
Okay, I already said it, and that's pretty breaking that Oderah Chidom will no longer represent Nigeria. She joined the national team in 2019. She was right there at the Tokyo Olympics. She was right there at the last AfroBasket where the D Tigers won a three-peat. She would have sealed all of those representation for Nigeria if the D Tigers were allowed to go to the World Cup. They qualified. The basketball administration in Nigeria didn't let Oderah and her teammates represent Nigeria. Let's go to California in the United States of America. That's where it's hard to call a former D Tigers player. Oderah Chidom joins us now on the show. Let me just say sporty greetings, Oderah. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Good to have you on Sports Tonight. Oderah, I saw your tweet. I said, no, maybe they hacked it. I went to Instagram. I saw the same announcement. You say you're no more representing Nigeria. It saddens you, but why did you make that decision?
I think most of it came from just wanting to shed light on the extremeness of it, of the Federation. I mean, my teammates and I, we've put up with so much for so long, and we were continuing to put up with so much, but the trigger for me was just the disrespect that the Federation showed us with announcing an open tryout 6 days before the event. 3 weeks before Afrobasket. My teammates and I were willing to, put everything aside and continue to play for our country, which we love so much. But our federation keeps getting in the way of that.
Wow. So it's all leadership, Oderah. And with what you've seen with the way the federation has been handling basketball, particularly towards the women, how terrible has the leadership been?
I mean, I can go on and on, but this particular time, we were banned from the World. We qualified from the World Cup. We beat the top 5 team of France at the World Cup qualifiers. Probably Nigeria women's basketball biggest win ever recently in Serbia. Everyone was on a high. We were super excited. And then to get the news that our own country banned us, they put a 2-year ban on senior sports in the country right before the World Cup. So we got banned from our country and FIBA, couldn't attend the event. It was very heartbreaking because I personally think that our team can compete at a world level and potentially put ourselves in the top.
I know. Oderah, you love Nigeria. And each time I speak to your teammates, I could tell the passion that you ladies put whenever you represent Nigeria. But this decision...
we were it's disheartening, it's offensive, it's disrespectful. So with all of that, we were still willing to play. So we've been asking questions to the next upcoming event. I mean, we all knew Afrobasket was at the end of July. So we were told to be patient. We would ask questions about when is camp? What dates do we need to block off? Who is the coach? Will camp be held in the US or will it be held in Nigeria? Simple questions, and every single time we would get hit with, please be patient, please be patient, please be patient. So me and a bunch of my teammates didn't take jobs the month of July. And if people did play in foreign leagues, they would put in their contract some kind of clause for them to be able to get out of their contract. So we were all preparing for this event. And then to see open tryouts from a social media post with 6 days notice, I mean, what else can you do? What else can you do? We've tried everything. We write letters, we call, we send emails, we communicate to the men's organizational staff. We've tried everything, and we get no communication back from the federation, almost as if they want to just start over. And mind you, this is a team that has won 3 Afrobaskets in a row.
No.
Just had a really great win against France.
Yeah.
It's disheartening. It's disappointing. It's sad, and to have the decision to retire. I've only played on the team for 2 years. I'm in the peak of my career. I'm playing very well. I'm signing contracts all throughout Europe that I'm very proud of. And to retire from a team that means so much to me early, it's very disheartening.
I know, I totally agree. And I want to take it up from there, Oderah. You love Nigeria. You've represented Nigeria at a global stage. And each time I watch you and your teammates in the D Tigers, you guys represent the country with admirable passion. This decision to quit, is it the right one?
I mean, it's hard for me to continuously show up when I'm not wanted or valued. I mean, there's so many teams around this world that are willing to treat me with respect, pay me what I'm worth, give me all of the accommodations necessary to be successful. And it's been a blessing to experience that. And when I play for Nigeria, I see none of that. So I consider myself a professional, and I do not see any of those professional characteristics among the national team. And to continuously come back to that, I just can't keep adding this added stress to my life.
Stuff. I'll hand it over to my colleague in Lagos, Yemi.
All right. Chidera, it's nice to have you join us on the show tonight. And this is Yemi from Lagos. But my question will be, before we start everything, is there anything that can make you change your mind? I'm very sure the viewers would love to hear that. Is there anything, is there any change, is there anything at all that could happen, organizational-wise, that could make you change your mind?
I think, again, this decision, I don't want to make it. It's something that it really hurts me individually. I really just hope to see the level of professionalism in the country of Nigeria. And until I see that, maybe I'll reconsider my decision. But as of now, I cannot go back to some organization that just doesn't respect me.
All right. That response has brought a smile to my face, I must tell you. So we'll keep that for later. Now that we've heard that, we'll keep that for later. But you talked about conducting business on a professional level. But looking at the constraints we have in this part of the world, and, you know, for a balance, is it impossible? Do you think it's impossible? Or there's still a level that you expect, that you think can still be done even with the challenges?
You know, it's one beautiful thing about my teammates is we're all very cohesive and we communicate daily. There is still, people still want to play. We just don't have any communication between us and the federation and the coaches. They haven't called us. They haven't talked to us whatsoever. All of our information comes from social media. And it's unfortunate that we have to communicate via social media just to get some kind of reaction. Still, even since I've announced my retirement, the federation or the coaches has not contacted any of my teammates, even though we keep pushing the message that we are still willing to play, we still want to play, we are still trying to find a way to get to Rwanda. We don't know who has been selected. We don't know the outcome of these open trials. We don't know the purpose of these open tryouts. But it's unfortunate that, again, the federation is blackballing us for a reason that we do not know. There's no line of communication between the team and the federation.
Wow. All right. Let me throw this in for I'll yield back to my colleague in London. If you get to a point and you feel there's a listening here, what are the things you would love the administrators to do? Because I know you're concerned not just for you, but for others. And of course, there's going to be a generation that will come after you guys. So in terms of doing things the proper way, if there was a listening here, what are the things you'll be telling the administrators? It would be good if you do this, if you do that.
I mean, the number one thing is communication. We have appointed a captain. You don't have to communicate with all of us. We would just appreciate if you communicated to our captain, or our captain can relay the message onto us. We asked for simple things like dates in advance. I mean, it's very, very hard to just guess. I mean, we all know the dates of the tournament because they're released within enough time. So we're guessing when camp could be, where it could be, making sure that our passports are eligible and on our own within the right time. When we do show up to camp, making sure that everything is professional and aligned. I mean, we're not asking for 5-star hotels or first-class plane tickets. We just want simple communication and just the decency of a productive camp.
I know. As simple as it is, communication, you start wondering why communication should be a problem. And I always say that when we plan to fail, when we fail to plan, we're planning to fail. Oderah, let's clear this issue that is out there. Just before the ban, the members of the D Tigers, had like a soft protest asking for unpaid allowances. Did the federation and the ministry get those monies to you guys? Did you get paid?
Yes. There was unpaid bonuses, and again, this doesn't apply to me because I'm still freshly new to the team, but the team has won AfroBasket 3 times in a row, and we're promised bonuses and never received them. So again, even though for 3 Afro-Basket champions, so about 5 years of basketball, players were still showing up. And that just
Mm.
goes to show the willingness that we love our country so much despite what's going on behind closed doors and all of the nonsense that we have to go through. We still show up because we have such a strong bond for each other and the country. We asked for the money. We reached out to so many different people within the federation. We heard crickets. We made a video. Asked, all in solidarity. The federation wasn't appreciative of that. And since that video was posted on social media, that was the last time we've had contact with the federation.
Well, I'm glad at least the gods are paid to an extent. Let's end this with some cheery conversation. Let's talk about it's not over with club basketball. You had a fantastic season with Saint-Amand in France. I know you've just signed a new deal to play in Italy. Tell us more about that.
I'm super excited. Last year, I had a really good season. I had some really cool teammates. I finished in the top 5 of the entire league. France is a highly respected league, and I was able to perform at the highest level. And I'm super excited to be heading to Sicily, Italy next season. Again, to hopefully repeat the same thing with a new group and a new country, a new culture. The ability to play basketball brings so much joy to me. I love the sport. I love traveling the world and experiencing different cultures and people. So again, it's unfortunate that Nigeria isn't, happening the way I expected it to happen. But just the luxury to still play the game that I love is still an option.
It's okay. Oderah, thank you so much for speaking to us tonight on the show. You know what? If you get an opportunity to change your mind, just jump up and do it for the motherland. Okay?
I appreciate all of the love and support. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oderah Chidom, for your time on the show tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, so that's it. It's hard to say. She's now former the Tigress player. She is a center forward, Oderah Chidom. 2 days ago, she announced that, look, I'm done. I can't take it again. And she has cited poor administration, poor leadership. You hear me? We talk about these things all the time on the show. Did you see? You asked her a very important question. And just look at the simple requirement: communication, planning. Don't just jump up and tell somebody next week, come to camp. You don't train professional sport persons that way, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, all of these things, like I said, we keep repeating ourselves. I'm tired. The players are tired. Everybody's tired. The basics, just do the basics. And like she said, they're not expected to stay in a 5-star hotel. Just do the basics. And it's really sad. It's really sad. And you do get the impression that a lot of these guys in key position in these federations are not ready. That's the impression that you get. And it's really sad. It's really sad. But I'm hoping we'll be able to, get it right and, move on from there, hopefully. All right, so that's it on basketball on the show. We'll move on. We'll move on. And at some point, I expect Bolu Amoni to join us. A lot of issues to look at as we move on. Let's talk about the Super Eagles before we go on a break. Now we know the road they will take if they will get to the 2026 FIFA World Cup because it draws. It's out. But before we do all of that, we need to go on a quick break. And when we return from that break, of course, we'll dive straight into all of the stories that we have for you on the show. Welcome back. We had an interesting conversation with Chidom and, of course, You've heard all the things that she had to say. All right, well, moving on the show, it's time to talk some football, all for you. And of course, we will be looking at the route that the Super Eagles will have to take to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'll just let you in on what's going to happen. And of course, there you have it on screen, the preliminary draw in Group A. You have the Pharaohs of Egypt, Sierra Leone, Burkina Faso, the Stallions of Burkina Faso, that is, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, and Djibouti. All right, let's flip and move to the next one, which is Group B. And in Group B, you have the Teranga Lions, you have the Hawks of Togo, DR Congo, Sudan, Mauritania, and South Sudan. That's in Group B. In Group C, this is where it gets interesting. You have the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Rwanda, Benin, and of course, Lesotho. That's in Group C, all about the preliminary draw. And this now begins the journey to the next World Cup. We move on to Group D. We have the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, Libya, Cape Verde, Eswatini, Angola, and Mauritius in Group D. And in the Group E, you have the Atlas Lions, you have Tanzania, Zambia, Niger, Congo, and Eritrea in Group E. F, you have Cote d'Ivoire, Gambia, Gabon, Burundi, Kenya, and Seychelles in Group F. And in Group G, the Desert Foxes of Algeria, Mozambique, Guinea, Botswana, Uganda, and Somalia, all in Group G. In Group H, the Cadet Eagles of Tunisia, Malawi, Equatorial Guinea, Liberia, Namibia, Sao Tome, and Principe in that one. And in the last group, you have the Eagles of Mali, Central African Republic, Ghana, Comoros, Madagascar, and Chad, all making up the draws for. And of course, 2026 World Cup, we're going to have increased number of teams that will qualify for the World Cup. All right, let me just quickly bring in Bolu Omoni here. He joins us now as we take a look at all of this. Greetings to you, Bolu. I guess we are back to you doing it from the other side again, just while I was getting used to having you here. But anyway, thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah, good evening. Good to see you again from distance. And well, Austin has been a distance for a while, so good to see you again from distance, Austin.
Okay, all right. Your reaction to the draws. I know you had Chidom, and probably you have a lot to say, but time will not allow us to go into all of that. But your reaction, immediate reaction to the draws. Some would say these are things we should not worry about, but experience has shown us that we have to be worried about almost everything these days.
Well, if I talk about the Oderah, I probably will not finish the show today. So, to Super Eagles, two things came to my mind when I saw the draws: Kosafa and Genero. Those were the two major things that came to my mind, because Genero is the man in charge of Benin Republic, and about half of the Benin Republic squad are Nigerians. That's if not more than half. On paper, it shouldn't be a big deal for Nigeria, but we've said that in the last qualifiers for the World Cup, the last qualifiers we have won, and we know how we've struggled. If we put our acts together, if we do the right things, we should not at least win all your home games. Then let's see how much points you can pick it from. Because the best way to qualify for the World Cup is to win your group. Don't think about that playoff. That playoff is a very difficult route. So on paper, we should be enough to progress from these guys. We have the players, we have the squad. We probably don't have the coach, but I still think it's not that so. Our biggest opponent definitely will be South Africa and maybe Mali. The others should be a walkover.
Should be a walkover. Let's see if Austin agrees with that. Austin, a quick one on the preliminary draw. Shouldn't be an issue, but we didn't qualify for the last World Cup, so that should always make you put your response in perspective.
Yeah, and Bolu, Bolu, most time I don't like to disagree with you, but when you say some things, it makes me laugh. You say the others are walkover. Should I remind you that your Super Eagles struggled and could not beat Central African Republic? Have you watched Benin Republic lately? Did you see Benin Republic against Senegal in their last AFCON qualifying game? They needed not to lose that match, and they didn't lose. It ended 1-1. Have you seen Zimbabwe play when they really want to play? And with the Super Eagles, when you take pressure to them these days, they melt. So it's very, very tricky, you know. And with the new format, we're going to have the expanded World Cup in 2026. No excuses. There's no way you can tell me that Nigeria will not be at that World Cup.
Yeah.
No, people can. You see, I'm
It's
struggling to
unforgivable.
talk about it. I'm just trying to tell you how the fans will see it. That Group C is tricky, but as Bolu said, it's very important because 9 teams, the group winners, will qualify automatically. Don't disgrace yourself going to the playoff tournament where anything can happen. Just stay focused and win your group and qualify. Now we have so much time. These qualifiers will start November the 13th. NFF, the assignment is simple. Qualify for the World Cup. Let us not start hearing about welfare issues. We just listened to one from basketball. We know the side comments we've been hearing from Super Eagles players about welfare and sometimes logistics being so unprofessional and the rest. We don't want those sort of things. We are having this conversation in July. In fact, early July. Draws have been made. You know your opponents. You have enough time now to start preparing. Group C is shouldn't bother us. We played Lesotho and we trashed them so well. But there is South Africa, Benin, South Africa, and Zimbabwe for me that I worry about. So they have a lot of work to do. And I just hope that they will understand the mission, Yemi, and don't make us bring out calculators. Blood pressures won't increase. We will just smile up through and qualify for the World Cup.
All right. I'm not the kind of person that likes saying that the Super Eagles owes us anything, but I guess they owe us for the heartbreak and the pain they caused us the last time. So we should be qualifying.
You want to tell
for the World
football
Cup.
fans that these Super Eagles don't owe them anything? Crashed out of the AFCON in the round of 16 when the fans were thinking they could go on to win it, failed to qualify for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. They don't forget. They owe them qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
I agree. I agree. All right. So that's it with regards to, of course, the qualifiers for the World Cup. All right, let's just quickly let you know it's 6 days to the FIFA Women's World Cup. And of course, that's it. That's the confirmation. 6 days. 6 days. You're going to see blockbuster action on the field when the women take to the field. 6 days, that's our confirmation for that. But also a quick one, even though we're pressed for time. Of course, the guys who represent professional footballers are worried that some of these monies that have been talked about here and there will probably not get to the women involved.
Let me remember I told you the other day on the show that I'm bothered that now when we want to talk about the World Cup, everyone is just concerned about the money. You see why when you put money into football, it causes a lot of distraction. I don't know why FIFPro has come out with these concerns, but I trust FIFA, and I know FIFA, they want to do everything to get people talking about women, particularly setting some level of balance with equality and the monies they throw around. So I totally disagree that there's going to be some disparities in sharing the money, but I don't know. Let's listen to FIFPro. They have expressed their concern, and it's up to FIFA to prove them wrong.
The biggest thing probably at the minute is making sure that the agreement, the conditions, the compensation system that we were able to put in place together with FIFA are actually being implemented. So we're working with a number of teams, a number of unions to make sure that either domestic negotiations about the fine print of how this gets translated are being done correctly, or to hold certain MAs accountable to implementing the things that are meant to be in place. That's at the moment really the big focus.
That's been an ongoing frustration sometimes with what the MAs are providing to the players in terms of preparation, and that goes from matches to scheduling to conditions in those national team assemblies as well. And I think to what Jonas alluded to earlier, ensuring that there are systems in place to make sure that the prize money allocation, the performance funding from FIFA actually reaches the players, because there's been a lot of historical issues around payment of players, whether it happens at all or whether it happens on time. So there's a lot of concern from players and our unions about those mechanisms, but FIFA have assured us that good systems are in place, but now it's making sure that they get actioned.
Maybe it was all PR stunts. Maybe FIFA's communications team wanted us to really talk about the World Cup in New Zealand and Australia. But we'll wait to see. Bolu, do you share the same concerns as those FIFA officials?
Nah, I think if I'm worried about anything, it will be the money FIFA wants to pay the federation. The one for the players, I don't think that would be a problem because the money goes straight to the players. The only way I think the player will not get the money is if there's a problem with either the bank or the accounts or whatever. I don't think that will be a challenge. Even if it's cash they want to give, it goes direct to the players. If they're wiring the money, transfer, whatever, it goes straight to the players. The one I'm worried for is the one they are sending to federations for football development. Africa as a whole, I don't think we are spending that for development, but for the payment, I think there should be no problem. FIFA, I think they are knowledgeable enough. I think FIFA exposed and wise enough to know where to pay the right money. So, and remember, FIFA always know how to take money from source when any federation is having. So, I think I'm not concerned about that money at all.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. A preview of teams competing at the FIFA World Cup. Let's take a look at Group C. That's got Spain, Costa Rica, Africa's representative Zambia, and former champions Japan. And Yemi, when you take a look at this group, easily you want to, say Spain and Japan will advance. But all day, every day, I keep saying when you're talking about women's sports, anything can happen. And with Zambia, I like the momentum they've built right from when they defeated the Super Falcons to finish third at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. They played 3-3 with Switzerland in the friendly, went on to beat Germany 3-2 in the friendly. They are preparing so well for the competition. They might just be the surprise package. Do you think so?
I think they have a chance. On the strength of how well, they performed at the last women's tournament. I mean, they've come a long way from where we've known them to be. And so I think they have a chance. By my own estimation, I think the team that is head and shoulders above everybody in terms of pedigree, women's football, globally, has to be Japan. But the Europeans, you have to always take them seriously. They know how to learn. Even when it appears that they are lacking in terms of talent in comparison to other regions, when it comes to putting the facilities, creating the programs, training the coaches, doing all of the basics, they are ahead of everybody. And that is why, if they are the ones behind, they catch up easily. But if you are behind them, it's always difficult to catch up because they have all the basics. And so that's it. But I think that the ladies from Zambia do have a chance, and we'll see how far they can go in the tournament. All right, let's move on the show. We have just roughly 5 minutes to do all we want to do next. Let's come home now and talk about Plateau United. We're going to get Bolu's thoughts shortly, but Plateau United has unveiled, of course, their new coach, Mangot actually is a new coach of that team, and of course a lot expected from him. And when a new coach comes, a lot always expected, and of course employers will say this is what we want. But of course, in football there are two coaches: the ones that get hired and the ones that are fired, and the ones that are waiting to get fired. But let's listen to Plateau United's new coach. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
Of 3 years contract, and also the mission here is to build a team from the beginning. If we can get it at the first attempt, that would be lovely. But I know Plateau United have set a standard, and we have to take it up from there. Anything below that, I don't think is a good thing for us. So we are going to look at the boys left behind, start from there, and I believe if you cannot get it at the first attempt, we'll work towards the second season to make sure we go back to where this team belongs to.
We are coming
with a new vision. We're coming, I told you the other time that we are coming with stick and carrots. So this day that the Lord has made it possible for us to see, from today, all our technical crew have been dissolved. With the exception of our technical advisor and the chief coach. So all other person that has been working in that department, your appointment has ceased to exist from today. Everybody, whether feeder team, whether whatever, everybody. And from today again, we have opened the window for everybody who wants to apply in our technical unit to submit his CV and his papers.
All right, best of luck to newly appointed Mbaz Mangot of Plateau United. All right, we're pressed for time, but let's go to the Super 8 and take a look at the results. And of course, that would be Bolomoni's closing words, parting shot for us. But today's result at the Niger Super 8 is going to come up on your screen shortly. Of course, celebration. There, you have it, Katsina United losing to Sporting Lagos on the strength of this Sporting Lagos through to the last four. All right, Bolu, your reaction, a lot of celebration, even the fans getting a good reputation, Sporting Lagos having a lot of people behind them. So, I mean, your thoughts about the Super 8, and if you can, for us, maybe in a minute, your thoughts about the Super 8 and especially Sporting Lagos.
Well, for Sporting Lagos, I'm excited for them. For almost everything they are doing seems to be working well for them. And I like when the fans they sending the message to some people who told them they can't celebrate in the VIP, that this is the stadium, not the library. So the game itself, they played well. I think they deserve their win. The game I just want to see in the final. I would love to see Sporting Lagos and Remo again, because like play, they are building up the rivalry. And that's the beauty of sport. That's the beauty of game. This from Super 6, we move to Super 8. Better view, better arrangement. Now it's setting us up for the new PFL season. I like what they are doing with the Super 8. I would definitely love to even watch the semi-final and of course the final. Hopefully we get to enjoy more games tomorrow to the end of the summer. It's been a beautiful and amazing tournament for the organizers, and hopefully we get to see more things like this in Lagos and across Nigeria. All right,
Bolomoni, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Definitely. Sounds a pleasure.
All right. So, that's much we can take, but Austin, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to go, but we must mention it because we've been following the competition. Nigeria failed to beat DR Congo at the AfroCan. It ended 74-72, and they will be playing a classification match with Kenya. It is what you sow, you reap. That's just what it is with basketball in Nigeria. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, we do hope you enjoyed everything. And from me here in Lagos, we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye now.